What's up? The tippy top of the morning was up. Well, it's morning for me. That's the trouble about living in Hawaii is that morning for me is like afternoon for everybody else. Um, and we are in gate 48.6. We are in the last line of gate 48. This line is self-fulfillment. In its exaltation, we have the valued center, that as it gives, it receives and thus can continue to give, a depth and potential talent that is of value to others. The detriment is a tendency to superficiality that through generous and nurturing will lack the inspiration, no quality, that can transform its gift into a common currency. Where the depth is limited, the taste will be superficial and affect the quality of the possible talent. Interesting. Man, these transits are so like beautiful. How does this translate to physicality, though? Physiologically, let's go look. Let's go look. I'm going to pull up the archive real quick. What did I write in here? Every time the transit shifts, I write about it in the archive. Except I didn't post this one. Well, that sucks of me. I have it written. I remember writing it. Alas. How's everyone doing today? Top of the morning, guys. What's up? What's up? I'll leave that for later. Talk about inadequacy. 48.6. Depth. Self fulfillment. Beautiful. What's up, guys? How we doing? How we doing over there on YouTube? How we doing over here on TikTok? How you guys feeling? Anyone done that new 3 minutes of boredom exercise that I just put out? Well, that was a messy sip of water. Good morning. How are you guys feeling? Let me know your human design. Let me know any questions that you have around your human design. Also, feel free to ask any questions around just spirituality in general or anything at all. Literally anything at all. I'm a 3-5 reflector, and something that I've learned about myself is that I have a knack for discovering what's worth learning and what's not worth learning, just for myself. But I've realized also that I have a pretty decent drive and talent for sharing and talking about what's worth learning and what's not worth learning. Being on the cross of rulership, my cross is very much so about like listening and education, because a lot of the times we confuse education and information, right? Like you go to school to get an education. An education is not sit in a seat for hours and let someone tell you how to think and what to think. An education is the ability to bring something out of you. It's more akin to manifestation, right? To bring something out from within. That's educo. That's what that word means if you look up the etymology of it. Linda, you have that cross as well? Oh, yes. Yeah, so, you know, in rulership, a good ruler is one that knows how to listen to the people. I love human design, by the way, because so many of the I Ching, and even before the Rave I Ching, which is Ra's version of the I Ching, the original I Ching, albeit pretty sexist, at least in the modern take, um, it's very altruistic. It's very like for the greater good of the people, and if it's not for the greater good of the people, it becomes corrupted. And so, when it comes to rulership, right? Like rulership is your personality and your design, sun and earth. So for me, that's 2247, and that's 45 and 45 and 21. Mm, mm-mm. Not 21. 45 and why am I blanking on this? 26. 26 and 45. I knew it was in the heart. I was like, not 21. 26. See, you can be a little dyslexic, mix up the numbers a little bit, and still be good at this stuff. Let's see who's got something fun and interesting to say. Pretty quiet on a Tuesday. We don't usually go up on a Tuesday. Your videos have helped me so much with my inner alignment and reeling it back in. Oh God, I'm so happy. Yes, that's why I do it, guys. I do it because alignment and self-love and all this stuff, it's an inside job, and the resources to accomplish this in great quantities um, are already within you. And hopefully some of the things that I share are going to reveal that. So anyway, Linda, I'm going to go look at your body graph real quick, since it's very quiet up in here. Linda, let's go. 3-5 manifester on the right angle cross of rulership. Sweet. So this is why we ask you guys to post your body graphs in the thing, because then we can look at this. Oh, so you have a different flavor of the cross of rulership, looks like. You've got the 4625 and the 1510. Oh, that's interesting. So more so like love of the body and innocence, extremes and behaviors. So the way I would contrast that, how would I contrast that as opposed to mine? Because my son, he's 22, Earth is 47. And so it's oppression that grounds listening, whereas yours is innocence that grounds determination, or the pushing upward. Like the purity of a lead. It's like, again, this is the thing, rulership, the context, the aim is still the same, whether you're shooting at it from the west or the south. It's still the same in the sense of like, it's about education. But whereas yours is more so seems like education, like intern, like your organs talking to you, whereas me, it's about listening to the outside world. It also makes sense because you're more so of a manifester, and a splenic manifester at that, with a fully open sacral and a fully open head, which TikTok friends, if you have a body graph with a center where it's like fully open like that or fully open like that, that is a sign that you have a superpower for solving other people's problems, and like being in the problem with people, because it can be challenging to discern the difference between your own self and others, especially when it comes to knowing when enough is enough, or understanding like where the line is drawn between their problems and your problems. So this is like, that design right there, it's a very empathetic design, especially with the undefined solar plexus. There's a lot to prove in there, and a lot of energy, like a sort of like innocent, I'm here to prove something, but it's genuinely as like there's a lot of energy in identity, there's a lot of energy in the heart. And proving yourself is not a bad thing, but if you understand what metrics you're here to prove in terms of your direction, that's going to be very helpful for you. How do I have you check mine, please, Lynn? So I'm reading Linda's, who's a member of the archive, which is our premium membership. So if you want me to read your body graph, come join the archive, post your body graph in here, and ask some great questions. I was just reading Linda's because she said we have the same incarnation cross, and so I was curious about that. Now, Linda, question for you directly: what is your current favorite and least favorite sensory design exercise right now? I'll go first. So we did an exercise yesterday in class where we took the plyo balls and put them behind our knees. That's $37, Lynn. For anyone wondering, the membership is $37. And we're sitting on them. And it's my least favorite because it's the one that I forget to do the most. And it's probably one of the most sensational exercises for me, at least for the first couple minutes. So that's my least favorite one. My current favorite one is probably like a digastric skew. So dragging the head forward, pulling the head back, and then skewing back and forth. I'll even do opposite eyes. So my jaw goes right, eyes go left, jaw goes left, eyes go right. Those are my favorite. Favorite and least favorite. Linda, feel free to share yours in the chat. I'm curious. I have full open ajna, head, and solar plexus, and IDK if ego is open for everyone else or not. Um, yeah, if when you look at your body graph, you'll see certain things, certain numbers in your body graph are like defined, and some are not. The ones that are not, those are undefined. If the center is white, that means it's undefined. If there's no gates active in there, that means it's open. So there's a little bit of a distinction between the two. The side to side eyes thing does something that happens involuntary while meditating. Yeah. So a lot of the times people that are meditating, um, when meditation was like more prevalent and people were meditating more, there was a base level nervous system that nowadays most people don't have because there's smartphones. There's so many things to be looking at and engaged with, that people do not have the base level of nervous system regulation or awareness that when meditation was more popular and when a lot of the teachings for meditation were popular, people were using. So a lot of the times people feel like they're failing or they're not doing meditation right because when they sit down, they've been told it's about clearing your mind and feeling peaceful, but their nervous system is like, whoa, 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 what are we doing? We're not being productive. We're being lazy. Like this isn't working, etc. And so it just goes on this tangent. And the prerequisite to having successful meditations is having awareness of your nervous system. And even exercises like this, right? Your eyes are moving. Like, for instance, take your eyes and just drive them in the top right corner of your vision. Drive them up there and just drive them to the point where it's like you can feel the strain in your eyes. Don't worry, you're not going to hurt yourself. Just drive your eyes up into the top right corner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back to the screen. Now, most of the time, your eyes are right front forward. You're eating things that are right in front of you. You're consuming things through your eyes that are right in front of you. So going up into the corners or into the extremes of your vision are going to see crazy visions and visuals. Recently, my mind does it quiet, then visuals. Yeah. So your body instinctively knows how to do all this. It knows what feels good. It's your mind that labels these sensations as bad or threats. When in actuality, it's the same thing as like when you're in the gym or when you're working out, you're getting a good workout. You're literally like destroying your muscle fibers so that they have to build themselves back stronger, right? Lactic acid builds up, you feel the burn. It's like a workout. And so when you do this with your eyes, the cool thing about the eyes is that they're made of the same tissue as the brain. So it's not like they're connected to the brain. It's like they're the part of the brain that touches the air. And this is the gateway. So when we do a lot of our sensory design stuff, I'm always adding on little eye exercises. And we have a whole thing on eye exercises. But the reality is, you could literally just like look into the extremes of your vision, play around with focusing on your phone, then look through your phone and see everything around it, then cross your eyes, then look back at your phone, then look through your phone and see everything around it. This is all about variability in your vision. So, Linda, the worst is the hands and twisting the arms. Yep. Actually like the plyo balls behind the knee. That's so funny. I like really love the twisting of the hands. We did another one where we were like twisting the shins. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the lives, Linda, but yeah. So cool that you said that my body speaks to me. I have rheumatoid arthritis, so sometimes it's loud. So one interesting thing about any kind of like joint pain and stuff like that, something that I found is really helpful and it makes sense why you don't really like the hand exercise. But a lot of like the joint fluid, similar to the lymph, it doesn't have like an organ like the heart that's gonna like pump fluid into there. And so, and I would do this like in like a safe way. Again, this is about exploration. It's not about like fixing it. But throwing is really helpful. Even just like throwing in like a big X pattern having the arm up, throw, 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 throw. Because what you're looking to do is get fluid and blood into the tips of the fingers, right? And then being able to do this, and again, start slow, and you're just drawing a big X. You can also do it across the body. You can start down here. And again, this is not about like doing it super fast or super hard. This is about feeling like there's so many sensations in there, right? Like you have the wind whipping over your fingers. And the more attuned you can become to those subtle sensations, because to me, pain is always trying to communicate something to us. Sensation is always trying to communicate something to us. And whether it's like, don't type as much. Like for instance, Linda, what have you been told or have you identified what the arthritis is caused by? Also, I just assume it's in the hands. I think you can have arthritis everywhere. Autoimmune disease. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Another one that I would do is like, I don't know if you've seen the laying on your arms, but you basically go like this, lay on the floor, and try and push, open your hands, try and push the floor away from you while you're laying flat on the floor. It's like a reverse deep pressure therapy, but that could be really good for you to flood your liver with blood. Hi, I just got here. Any tips on dealing with performance anxiety as a super anxious person? Yeah, I would say perform somewhere where it doesn't matter much to you. Um, like go to a and what kind of performance? Like I would say definitely one of your greatest therapies is going to be like, Tuesday night at the karaoke bar, go up and sing in front of people, cuz literally the only way to, in my opinion, to move through and overcome performance anxiety is to perform, right? Like you can rehearse and practice and do all the things, but the magic in this though is like, for instance, if you join the archive, there's exercises that will teach you how to upregulate, like excite your nervous system, and then downregulate, like make your nervous system more calm. The beauty of being able to calm yourself when your nervous system is higher up and more regulated and there's a lot of people around you, the goal of that is to be able to gather more data. So like the next time your performance anxiety hits, and I'd like for you to come back here and tell me, um, when the next time performance anxiety hits, let me know. And maybe you know already. Maybe you know what are the sensations. Like my head gets hot, my hands gets hot, my back gets sweaty, my feet start dancing around. What is that? This is just an electrolyte drink. Yeah, it's just liquid IV. Honestly, I've been waiting for my buddy to launch his electrolytes. But recognize, guys, that anxiety is just energy that's not necessarily being channeled the way that you want it to be, or there's uh, an influx, a larger amount of mental activity happening, and not enough physical pressure to be able to handle it. Just came across your 10-minute nervous system regulation thing. You are so welcome. That's what I put it out there for. I dance and I love to perform. I do it, but the place that I'm at now, there's a lot of mental pressure. Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Are you Native American? I'm Mexican. Wouldn't managing stress help with that too? Because stress creates inflammation. Yeah. Yeah, Linda says it's from overworking. So here's the thing about working, and especially with like manifestors, Linda, like, and especially with the defined heart, right? Whenever you feel yourself overworking, which might be challenging sometimes, but noticing again subtle sensations, like before the pain becomes pain, um, trying to notice the pre-frames of pain and taking a moment to lay down. Like I know it sounds weird, but especially for a lot of people with undefined sacrals, they don't necessarily know when it's time for them to rest. And so the more aware you become of sensations, like there might be a smell to it, which, let me see, do you have any smell things? And yeah, because that's the thing about when it comes to stress, like life is stressful. Stress is just like inspiration or just like mental pressure. It's part of the world. Um, what you ought to do is to endeavor not to be less stressed out, but to handle stress better. So, for instance, one of the ways you can see how well you handle stress is if you just exhale all of your air, plug your nose, and try and breathe in through your nose. You won't be able to breathe in. Keep holding your nose. See how long you can stay like that before you start to panic. Sorry, off topic, but what kind of mixer is that? That's a Zoom L12. I wanted a mixer that could work as a live mixer and also an audio interface. And funny enough, that wasn't invented until I got that like 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, like 5 or 6 years ago. But it wasn't invented for a long time. And that it's good. I really like it. Preamps could be better, but honestly, it's great. I need one of those. I want a Yamaha or a Mackie mixer. Yeah, like I said, I got that one because it does live audio. There's effects built into it, and the effects are good. But then it also works as an audio interface, and it works as both at the same time, which is really cool. So, do you do live events? I actually am working on getting a class going here in Maui. So yes, I am going to do live events. But aside from this, like in our membership, we have 6 events a week right now. So 6 events where my partner Pasha, who's sort of like the mad scientist behind all of this, connecting human design um, to physical exercises, right? He teaches 6 classes a week. Like I took one yesterday for the first time in a long time. I just had a baby, so I've been kind of like stepped back a little bit. But aside from these lives and those classes, yeah, Pasha is the best. Yes, the exercise was plugging the nose is so good. I have done it a lot and felt that I have gotten so much better with that one. Yeah, so again, it's like stress, it's a hormone, right? The body creates stress, cortisol, as a means of similar to how it produces adrenaline, which is like, hey, like get it going, or it'll produce serotonin or dopamine. It's like in response to something. And it's not so much about like, oh, let me, how you say, make my life less stressful. Because that's one way to deal with it, but life is stressful, right? Like you wake up and sunlight gets in your eyes, that produces cortisol. So what do people do? They get blackout curtains. Or you could just like get up and use the cortisol. That's the thing is like if you learn how to use these chemicals properly, learn how your body uses these chemicals properly, and sitting at a desk doing work is not necessarily using them properly. It's like swinging stuff, throwing, running. That's how our bodies have been trained to use these chemicals. And when we stop letting our bodies use these chemicals, they build up and cause all kinds of pain and stuff like that. Do our bodies need more magnesium to maintain and control stress levels? Most people are under nutrified. So yes, the answer is yes for most people. And the reality is 90% of the supplements that you're going to find at Amazon or Costco, they're not what you would call bioavailable, meaning you're getting like a fraction of what you're seeing on the label because your body can't actually absorb it. That's why like there are so many different supplement companies. And what you want to look for is a supplement company that is third party tested, right? So it's like I take this stuff. It's called OG Strong, and it's got trace minerals, it's got vitamins, it's got a bunch of stuff in it. And the reason I take it is because they have a study that they do on it where it lowers the C reactive protein, which is a direct indicator of inflammation in the body. Not only that, I've been taking it for over a decade, actually, been taking it for a long time. And I'm probably one of the healthiest people that I know. And my diet is not like, I'm not like a super purist when it comes to my diet, which could be my genes and my active lifestyle, but I also supplement, and it's just I get everything in one. So anyway, as a manifestor, I tried to avoid stress for years, and eventually I felt totally dead inside. So much better to handle and meet the stress and just allow it to be. Practicing that is not my pressure, right? And it's funny too, because it's like once you get to this part of your life, your journey, right, Linda, where you're like, okay, so instead of just crumbling under pressure or trying to make my life stress free, I know how to meet pressure. Then you start to actually engage your heart and your spleen, and your body starts to talk to you and be like, hey, this is not your pressure, right? Like you're pushing up against it and you're like, what am I pushing up against? It's like being a mime, right? Like there's no wall here, but I can engage all the muscles that I would need to if there was actually a wall there. And the point of that being is like, where's that happening? Where's there a wall in like midair that I'm like pushing up against, or and maybe I'm not pushing up against this, maybe I'm just avoiding it, but there's nothing there. So anyway, I'm grateful because, again, in the archive with sensory design, with human design, there's so much to learn. And same thing with the archive. There's so much to learn in the archive and with sensory design. But once you start to pick up the breadcrumbs and you start to get a smell and a taste for it, then it's like a create your own adventure, right? It's super fun. My nervous system is deregulated and my hands and feet sweat excessively because of it. Where should I start? Okay, start here. Spread your hands like you're trying to palm a basketball. You know how they do that? They're like holding a basketball like that. Spread your hands here. Go into a little bit of extension. Okay. Fingers spread nice and wide, evenly spaced between the fingers. Middle finger is right in the middle of the forearm. Hold it right here. Flex. And then what I want you to do is just drive your elbows and your shoulders into your ribs. So it's like you're squeezing yourself. Hold this for 2 minutes. I'll do this one with you, actually. 2 minutes starts now. Sea moss be a solution for getting proper minerals. Sea moss is good. I've never personally experimented with it. So anyway, my father-in-law is staying with us. He's a projector. I'm a manifester. And Hubs is an MG. I'm tired. Yeah, that would make sense. Even if you're not like having your in-laws stay, because what happens when your in-laws stay, right? Or your parents for that matter, is the pentadynamics and the composite dynamics change. Especially if you go from two people to having a third person there. Because once you have three people, now there's a hierarchy, right? And especially if it's somebody's parent, now it's like that's the person who changed your diapers and has a level of authority over you that most people don't. So, one of the things that you have to recognize is that you could look at the charts, right? And see like, oh, what is happening here? Guys, if you're not doing this, by the way, it's a great feeling. By great feeling, I mean like very sensational. Um, the magic of sensory design, right, is like you can do an exercise like this. You can do it casually while you're talking, while your partner, while your hubby and your in-law are talking. And so instead of your mind having to deal with the pressure that's happening between your partner and your in-law, you can deal with the pressure that's here in your hands. It can be a physical pressure that you're dealing with here in your hands. 10 more seconds, guys. 2 minutes. Um, Hopefully the person that asked about the hands and dysregulation is doing this. Because again, it's like your mind is going to project all of this sensation out into the world, or it's going to find somewhere in the body to hold it. And that's the magic is learning how to hold it within the body. 3, 2, 1, relax. Yeah, that's a good one. I love that one. That one oftentimes like helps with my neck. I don't know about any of you. Projector parents are exhausting. Well, projectors want the best for everyone, but they can't really take their own advice, right? My hubs has a hard time allowing me to invite combos now. It's strange. Always cuts me off or get mad. Man, my hands dried up. So what's up, Danny? Should I do this daily? Ask your hands. I don't know. Like my partner has it's called hyperhidrosis. Maybe you have it too. But basically like her hands and her feet get really really sweaty. She hates this one. Danny, I'm curious. How did that feel? Like did you like doing that? That's cool your hands dried up? Or okay, so you have that too. Did was that like you didn't like that or you liked that? Not the result. I'm talking about the sensation, like the feeling of like your fingers being creaky and whatever sensations you were. Did you enjoy that or did you not like it? Yeah, I love that. I have the same emotions and my undefined solar plexus. Haha, yeah, gotta love new projector mom. Yeah, I have a projector mom. And she's absolutely brilliant. New equals my okay, I love my yeah, my mom is an emotional projector. And one of the things I feel like that is really challenging for projector parents is this idea or this social kind of projection that it's like you got to keep up with your kids, right? Like my partner is a projector and there's a lot of like you have to keep up with your kids. But the reality is if you're creative enough and as a human being, if you're creative enough, you can find activities, you can find things so that instead of your energy being directly like involved in the activity, that you can sort of just sit back. And again, I get it, easier said than done, but so I enjoyed feel like a tingling sensation in my hands. Then towards the ends, my hands dried up. That's really interesting. I'm really interested in that. I haven't asked my partner. She would just be like, ew, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm really curious if her hands actually dried up. Because what you're doing there is like you're sending blood, you're sending pressure into your hands. So how do I know if something is just hard or not aligned? So again, your organs are going to speak to you. And in human design, we have something called an inner authority, which I highly recommend. If you don't have a body graph, go to my website, generate a body graph. You can get a bunch of information for free just from generating the body graph. I do have reports that will basically take this entire book, extract the information that's relevant to you, put it in a report so you can literally just read about yourself. Like, what's my strongest sense? What does this gate mean? What does this channel mean? How is this center healthy versus not healthy, right? It'll just give you all the information. Will save you so much time. Don't take it to Chat GPT because some people ChatGPT is just a slew of stuff on the internet, and a lot of people on the internet have terrible interpretations of human design. So anyway, you have something called an inner authority. For most people, by most I mean like 50% of the world, it's the solar plexus. It's emotional authority. It's your celiac ganglia. It's your cranial ganglia. It's your diaphragm. Right? There's a lot of stuff going on in here. For a lot of people, it's the sacral, which is your sex organs. Right? Your spleen, which is your spleen. So there's a physical organ that if you start to work with that physical organ and working on it all throughout the body, right? Like if you're a G self-projected projector, it's the liver, it's the blood. So like there's liver points right here. If you just massage this when it comes time to make a decision and you're a G center projector, you're a self-projected projector and you look up at them, it's like you're literally consulting the organ as opposed to an expert, right? I've been teaching ChatGPT human design so that it doesn't give wrong info. Kimberly, I got you, self-projected projector. Yeah, you can teach the GPT. Another thing about it is that like for me it's like Pandora's box. Once you have a GPT that understands human design, and I know there's already people that are doing this, but it's like what's to stop that from being used as a marketing tool to manipulate people's not self so that they buy stuff, whether it's not and not specifically human design stuff, just like products and stuff like that. Like I could very easily take the frustration that a lot of generators feel and I could sell them like a fidget toy or something like that. Damn, that liver spot idea is awesome. What's up, Shaolin Luke? You coming home today or what? What is that? Hit me up later. I'll be here. Watched your video about spiders and how you need to find a good spot and weave a good web. Amazing. Yes. My extended family has 60% projectors in it as a reflector. Holy shit, that's exhausting. Yeah. Being around not self energy is super exhausting. Um, yeah. If it doesn't understand it anywhere near as much as I can. Yeah, well, guys, and again, that's the thing is human design it's about It's about the human. It's about the body. And GPT, again, it doesn't have a body. It can talk about it. And this is, most people learn and talk about and use human design the same way ChatGPT does. It's a language model. What we have, the opportunity that we have, especially right now, and we're on the advent of AI, we're on the advent of virtual reality. What we have now is a special period of time, similar to when I was in high school and they introduced smartphones. Browsing the internet on your phone? Interesting. Okay, cool. Is it going to take? I don't know if people are going to need that. Same thing with VR. People are like, oh, that's not going to catch on. AI, oh, that's not going to catch on. Dude, anything that's going to make the human's job easier, not necessarily better. It's not going to make our lives better, but it will make it easier. It will make things more convenient. And I'm not against AI or VR. What I'm against is completely letting go of physical reality. I call this the kingdom, 3D reality. I'm against letting go of the kingdom so that we can live in some virtual world. I believe that that is a premature death that most of us would welcome as salvation, because they are, how you say, um, it's painful to be alive. And it's the only reason it's painful is because their mind has labeled it as painful. And when you switch pain, when you reframe from pain to sensation, then you can discover what things are actually painful and what things that you're actually inherently doing wrong and what thing is just sensation. Truly sensation. This also helps you in terms of pleasure, right? Like if you're on the pain and pleasure spectrum, you're on the sensation spectrum. And what most people do is they try to escape pain so that they can get to pleasure. But inadvertently, they end up back in pain. Versus if you're on the spectrum of sensation, then it's like, whoa, the sensation speaks to you. And it's not just, oh, just get away from pain. What exercise should I do as a 1-3 MG with sacral authority to balance my nervous system? So I would explore with like getting like a towel or like a stuffed animal. I have a lot of stuffed animals because I got 2 daughters. Put it on your seat, sit on it, and see if when you inhale, you can't get your pelvic floor to expand and get like really heavy in your seat. Call it like pelvic floor saturation, like inflate your pelvic floor like a balloon. As a sacral being, your sex organs and your pelvic floor are probably some of your most important parts of your body. I would also do digastric stabs specifically. You take your fingers like this, drive them into your under your jaw here, the soft part of your gullet, swallow, and you'll feel your fingers get pushed out. The goal is to keep your fingers pushed out while you breathe, smell, swallow, and blow a cool stream of air. Yeah. Well, it's like everything. The tool itself isn't bad, but you can definitely use it the wrong way. Yeah, totally. And I use ChatGPT. Like, I love it. It's like, I'm like, hey, what is this plant? Like, I love it for learning. But yeah, a lot of people are using it as, they're not using it as a second brain. They're using it as their first brain, which is funny because the stomach is technically the first brain. Um, but anyway, my inner authority is the solar plexus, and I'm in inner conflict with whether or not my work is right for me. I didn't give it enough time. Like, you quit early? Is that what you're saying? I've been on this path since 2012. Like, I had my first Reiki experience in 2012. That blew me out of the water. That's why my screen name everywhere is Reikimarco, because, I got really disciplined with Reiki. I just started doing the exercises every day, And then eventually, before you know it, like, well, it took a while. 3, 4, 5 years later, I'm like literally Reikiing billionaires, which was really cool. So anyway, yeah, like quitting too early. Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing about the emotional wave. There's a lot of pressure in the emotional wave. I see the emotional wave like this pressure cooker, right? And for instance, if you're cooking like a stew in a pressure cooker, right? The pressure cooker itself is only designed to take so much heat and so much pressure. And there's limiters on the pressure cooker so that it doesn't get too pressurized and that it doesn't get too hot. If those limiters are removed, the pressure cooker will literally explode. That's what a lot of people experience, quitting their job early, saying things that they don't mean to their partner. And the reason is not because their emotions are too much, but because the container is not strong and robust enough. Like, for instance, if you, right now, anyone listening, if you have issues with your emotions, what I would do immediately after this call, after joining the archive, first I would just join the archive. If you're into this at all, by the way, just join the archive. It's $37. Just join it. If you have issues dealing with your emotions, I would go out and I would get a sandbag between 50 and 100 pounds. Like if you're like 100 pounds to 120 pounds, get like a 50-pound sandbag. Okay. Fill it with sand and spend every day for the next 30 days with the sandbag on your chest, just trying to survive and trying to breathe. Calm yourself down, smell, swallow, blow this cool stream of air. Try and keep the bag from crushing you. That's awesome. I'm new to Reiki. Yeah, and I have a Reiki class in the archive, which I plan on adding more. But Reiki is very simple. It's like every time you take a breath, right? There's all these unseen forces that are working in your favor. And sensation, smelling, swallowing, all this stuff that I'm like preaching like a madman help us to acknowledge that. And the more that we acknowledge it, the more that we'll see it, the more that it will manifest into our lives. Reiki literally just means universal life force energy. Now, there are traditional techniques that I know that I do share that I use to work with people. Um, and in the West, we are so used to being taught what are the techniques, what are the secret techniques, that oftentimes people that learn the techniques don't actually get to have their own experience with it. And so there's a lot of techniques that I can show you that I won't show you because we're not here to just parrot each other. I mean, to a degree we are, but that's not, I don't want a community of people that are just practicing my method. I want a community of people that are actively creating their own method. And that's what the archive is more so about. It's about the exploration. If I focus on sending blood flow to a certain part of the body, what does that do? Blood is the healer. Blood is the first and the original healer, right? One of the first things that we do if you are, you know, sick or ill or something is we test your blood. Why? Because if your blood is healthy and your circulation is good and blood is getting to those areas that need the healing, it's like, it's like the garbage man. All of this circulation, it cycles stuff out. Blood is made in the marrow, by the way, inside your bones. And so, whereas a lot of people will focus on the muscles and the patterns and even the fascia, which is fascia. It's so funny. Fascia is becoming so popular because it's so important. Um, but it's starting to become annoying to me, which is great because that's a good thing to become like a lot of people talking about. I'm always trying to be on to like the next thing, right? Gate 51, um, gate 26, dormant as fuck. Um, the bones, like the crystal bones, the marrow inside the bones that makes the blood. And again, this isn't new shit. It's just like, where do we put our focus as a society? But if you could focus on circulations, on skeletal alignment, and getting the marrow to do its job, and the sensation of like, what does it feel like when your marrow is creating new blood cells? Feels like a sun, feels like a pressure cooker. So learning how to tolerate that pressure, and again, the sandbag is one of your best friends. I just use rocks, but I'm gonna get a sandbag because I need to get my partner more so on it. She's not gonna lay under a heavy rock. It's scary. And it's like even like 50 pounds, it doesn't seem like much. But when it's on your chest and you've been under there for 20 minutes and you're fucking exhausted. It's crazy. And it's like, again, like, why would you do this stuff to yourself? Well, to make yourself stronger. Like, why do people train for races? Well, because sometimes you need to fucking run away from stuff, or you need to run towards stuff and be the first one to grab it. Like we've entered into the information age, which is beautiful. It's a time when anything is possible. But at the same time, it's a time when so many people are surrendering their physical well-being so that they can be virtually stronger. And you see it all the time. You see the programmers with the shitty posture, drinking, popping zins all day, drinking coffee and energy drinks, the gamers, the streamers. Most of the people that you see live streaming, you know, is is different, is very different. And I believe there's a sort of renaissance happening where it's like you can be tech savvy and you can be physically savvy as well. And it's worth developing both. Anyone know where that character is from? I actually got that on the TikTok shop. That's coffee, by the way, for anyone that's asking. I don't drink coffee much, but every now and then I'll have like a week where I'll drink coffee in the mornings, and then I'll go for like 2 or 3 months without it. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this live, whoever shared the live, or the 5 people that shared the live, I love you. I'm really not great at doing this, but the more you guys share the live, just like, again, the more it empowers this message. And the message is really simple, right? It's like healing is inside you. You just have to learn how to look for it. And you have to be encouraged to look for it. And you have to have someone with authority. Me, I have a lot of authority. I have a lot of experience with this kind of stuff, with healing. Somebody with authority that is willing to not like, I'm gonna be the fucking teacher. Nah, it's you. It's your body. It's your organs. I want you to be the authority in your life. I want your spleen. I want your heart. I want your liver. I want your blood to be the healer. I don't want to be your fucking healer. I want to be your homie. You know what I mean? I've been trying to the main problem with my hyperhidrosis, and I found it's my overreactive sympathetic nervous system. Yeah. So I started doing breath work, and it's helped a good amount. Great. Breath work is cool. It's sort of like surface level. Um, because again, it's like, for instance, like, and I'm not discouraging breath work. I'm just saying, what are the mechanisms that go along with the breath work that you're doing? Right? Because, for instance, like breath of fire, it's like one of the most basic breath works out there. Um, if you're doing that sitting down and you never sprint, which is when you're actually going to use a more powerful breath like that, you're doing what Western medicine has done to health or to the body. You know, they cut it out. This is the bicep. This is the long head. This is the short head. But just because those are the muscles there doesn't mean that they don't have some play up here and all down here. And there's trigger point. The body is so interwoven and connected. Um, Wim Hof is amazing as well. And for a lot of people that are doing cold therapy, especially cold therapy, without the proper nervous system regulation, the breath work is supposed to help with the nervous system regulation. But again, there's ways to do all of this healthy stuff and just do it because the teacher is telling you to do it and not actually have the experience for yourself. And I know it's like, yeah, you're splitting hairs, but it's like, what the fuck are we here doing anyway? Um, I'm not saying cold exposure and Wim Hof sucks. What I'm saying is that if there's not proper mechanics, especially when it comes to like walking, running, and throwing, with like if you're doing the breath work but you're not training the mechanics, again, it's like there's something fundamentally missing. It's like working on one tire and it's like this tire is good, but the other tire is popped, but you're like, I'm not gonna worry about that tire. Like this tire is really good. Breath work, breathing is just one part of it. Right. So anyway, how do you calm yourself in a few minutes? For me personally, like if I want to get like super calm, and this is good for you, Danny, as well, because sympathetic nervous system, right? Sympathetic is right here. Focus, 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 focus. You get to the point where your eyes are focusing so much and your energy is so forward into one point that you can't focus anymore. That's called burnout. That's specifically acetylcholine is the neuroreceptor that burns out when you're focusing, focusing, focusing. And what it really, the way you heal it is just by getting into parasympathetic, which watch, I'll switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic really quick. You guys aren't even going to notice it. I'm in parasympathetic now. Why? Because I'm not looking at my screen anymore. I'm looking through my screen and I'm seeing everything around here. This is my peripheral vision. Peripheral vision is the way to get into parasympathetic. Here's another way to do it. Why? Because this is my front body. This is my sympathetic range, right? When my head is turned this way and my eyes are turned that way, now I'm accessing more of my side body and my back body, right? I can take my eyes and instead of being on the screen, I'm going to look directly behind me. And what's this going to do? It's going to give the sympathetic driver a break, right? You blinked. I moved my focus. Yep. Well, it's more like I let go of my focus, right? So I would say for Danny, here's what I want you to do. Okay. And this for whoever was like, how do you calm your nervous system or how do you calm down really quickly? Well, yeah, calm down really quickly is I look up and to the right first or the left, and I just smell, swallow, and blow a cool stream of air. And I hit these 3 points: top left, top right, top center. And I just smell, swallow, and blow a cool stream of air. Sometimes I'll like massage my fingers like this or massage my hands. But even just this is enough. After like 3 or 4 minutes of doing this, I'm yawning a lot. And that's it. That's it. Like now for me, as someone who's been doing this for years, it's like when I'm really feeling anxious or when I'm really feeling like I'm overthinking, I don't really get depressed anymore. Just like 2 or 3 minutes of that like recalibrates me. Like that. It's like fucking magic. Like I wish I could bottle this up and sell it as a fucking pill because I'd be a billionaire right now. But the reality is I can't. And all of the medications and treatments that they have for depression and overthinking and stuff like that, it's not that they're bullshit, but it's like they don't do this with you first because they can't charge you to do this. I mean, I could charge you to like sit in my room and do this with me, but it's like I did a video where I do this for 10 minutes and I just sit here and I'm just like, look up, smell. I just keep reminding you, smell, swallow, cool stream of air, cool. Um, yes, got you, Danny. Um, like I just want people to know that this is available. That's my message. I want people to know that your body has the power to heal itself, but you have to let go and giving people the authority, right? Like give me your authority. I will give it back. Watch me do it over and over and over again. I can't swallow. My throat gets too tight after a long time of doing that. Yes, great. So if your throat gets tight and you can't swallow, the question is not what is wrong with me, right? The question is, am I willing to suck at swallowing enough so that it's no longer, because I tell you, you're holding back what you want to say, your not asking for what you really want, your inability to post on social media and grow your business, any of that shit, like it's manifested as some kind of like rock or adhesion somewhere in probably in your throat or somewhere in your body. And if you're willing to just, ew, ew, if you're willing to just like take your time and work on it, like that's where the healing comes from. That's where the freedom comes from. I needed that method reminded to me again. Wish I remembered it an hour ago. Yeah. Sunshine, what it do? It's working. Yeah. This stuff works, guys. It's scary how much it works too, because it's like, again, and it's like I do have a paid membership, right? It's $37 a month. I think we have like 250 people in there right now. We teach these as classes, but the ultimate goal is to help you cultivate an inner authority. So that way it's like, you don't need the classes, but you stay because the community is cool and the message is good. And it's like me and my buddy Pasha who are like trying to Robin Hood nervous system regulation in a time where everyone is charging premium prices for it. So the head movement that I was doing it's literally just head turning, right? So my eyes stay on the forward, my chest stays forward, but my head is going to turn. My ear is going to replace my nose. Watch. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm going to smell, swallow, and then blow a cool stream of air and come back. Now, this looks really easy because I've done this thousands and thousands of times. Swallow. Cool stream of air. But this is helping me to access a range of motion specifically in an area where a lot of people don't get range of motion, right? And it's funny. Next time when you call to someone, see what they do. Like if someone's back is turned to you and you call their name, I guarantee you what they're going to do is this. Hey! They're going to turn around and face you. Okay? And it's not because they want to. It's because they're incapable of doing this. Oh, what's up? Or they're not used to doing it. That's like uncomfortable for them. Now, am I saying like, oh, if you have to turn around to see somebody, you're a loser? No. Do I do this every time? No. But I can. Like I can see you guys right now. So it's options. Options, guys. You gotta remember you have options out here. You got options. You don't need to pay thousands of dollars for a surgery. It's speaking of this too, it's like we have a whole class on face sculpting. Like if you don't like the way that your face looks, or it's like asymmetrical or something, there's little exercises you can do. Wrinkles don't come from old age, they come from repeated movements. You ever who's been told smile with your eyes? You know what else smiling with your eyes is? Universal sign of pain. Ah, ooh, ah, ah. Same thing. How about smile with your ears? Kind of like kooky. When you see kids, this is actually really good. Tension headaches. Pinch right here. Pinch right here and see if you can activate muscles to try and pull your eyebrows out of your pinching fingers. This is really good for headaches. This is really good for headaches too. Driving up and in right here at this point. This is bladder. So what we're talking about here is using human design and a set of exercises that we call sensory design as a means of being able to see a headache before it comes. You'll be able to sense people manipulating you. You'll be able to smell manipulation before somebody gets their fingers in you. This is the kind of shit that I'm talking about here, guys. It goes much deeper than this, like, oh, let's relieve headaches. Because this is what we're doing is like, we're relieving headaches by operating that, hey, there's parts of you that are dehydrated. There's parts of you that are undersaturated. There's parts of you that need blood flow, that don't have blood flow. And we're just putting blood into places where it hasn't been. That fucking fixes nearly everything. Where do you start with researching human design? Alberto, so I have reports on my website. I would say start there, just because the report will give you a full layout of your body graph. And it will also give you, in the report, it will give you this is the meta. This is where human design came from. This is how to interpret the charts. This is what the centers mean. This is what so it gives you definitions on everything. Most people's reports just give you like, how you say, oh, this is your body graph. And it's a shit ton of information. So 2 things I would do. And if you have, like I would say, if you have $60, I think that's the math is done, right? 67, maybe $70. If you got $100 and you're like, I want the premium fucking experience. If you got $100, buy a report, $27. Get on the archive for a month, $37. Not even close to $100. That's 50, 60, $64. $64. And you want the premium experience? Go to my website, get a report, and then also join the archive. Why? Because when you see your report, it's like a map. Right? It's like an adventure map, and you're like, oh, whoa, there's a lot of information here. Your mind wants to absorb all of it, but your body can only handle so much. Join the archive, because the first class, what we teach you how to do is build a relationship with these 2 centers, head and ajna. This is what to think about. This is how to think about it. So in the archive, the class and the sequence, and there's 7 seasons in the archive. There's like over 30 classes in the archive on how to approach human design from the physical. So the archive and sensory design will help you approach human design so that your body can actually live out and manifest your design. And my report will help you mentally live out your design. But you can't do one or the other. Yeah, like you have to do both. I mean, you could approach from one or the other. But what I mean is, in order to like actually for this to work, you have to do both. Do you need a degree to learn this? Not at all. No. I specifically didn't get my degree because I realized that the universities were creating what we like to call an inflated external authority, which becomes very, very messy in the sense of, like, for instance, oh, if you went to Harvard, oh, wow, you must be brilliant. Yeah, or you got a rich dad, or you cheated your way through college. You know, so it's like it's a level of certainty and authority that isn't always, and yes, for a lot of people it is merit based, but it isn't always. To me, what's falling apart that we're all seeing happen is the fact that, like, wow, you can get information, you can get information from the internet now. And what happens when that falls apart? Oh, well, a lot of people are going to be shit out of luck because they didn't develop and cultivate their senses and their bodies. This is what's happening, guys. We're increasingly putting more energy into this. And from here, it's like I just look like a streamer that has an online business. I got friends with farms. I got friends that hunt. I have a community here so that if the grid goes down, like I'm taken care of. I have a well with water and a generator and gas and diesel. Like I have things set up so that if anything does go down, I've thought about this, and this is what I'm choosing to study. Trying to teach my manifestor son this. He is brilliant without a degree. Yeah. One of the things, someone asked, by the way, earlier, tips for manifestors, rejection therapy. Rejection therapy is one of the most powerful things for a manifestor because the biggest hangup that a lot of manifestors have is rejection, but they're designed to initiate. And so imagine that. Imagine that you're designed to bring your essence, your emotions, your thoughts, your ideas into the world, right? On your own. Like you're the one that's supposed to start the thing, but you're afraid of rejection. Let's say you're given a deck of 52 cards, and I tell you, if you find the ace of spades, I'll give you $1,000,000. But if you find any other card than the ace of spades, I'm going to scream in your face and make you feel like trash. Most people won't even lift the first card because they're afraid of being screamed at. Now, it'd be different if it's like, I'm going to throw an elbow at your face, right? That's what a lot of manifestors feel. They feel that rejection is a reflection of their worth, which it's not. It's just a reflection of somebody else's decision. That's it. Do you think we're all too self-centered and not worried about the damage we're doing to the planet? I personally believe that if we were all actually more self-centered, we would care more about the planet. Because here's the thing, people are not self-centered. They're not centered within themselves. They're centered in the world around them. They're centered in, what does my dad think? What does my mom think? What does my boss think? What does my girlfriend think? How do I appear better online? Blah, blah, blah. We're not self-centered. We're like the opposite. Does that make sense? Like if you were actually self-centered and you took care of your organs and took care of your body, you would look at the world as an extension of yourself. Not something that needs to be saved, but something that deserves to be taken care of. And this is where a lot of activists and a lot of people that mean well, they're fighting against the reality that we're in. Right? They're fucking fight. We need to do this. We need that. Start a farm. Learn how to grow food. Take care of your body. Like move your body. Stop putting shit in it. Stop engaging with people that you have to gossip about later in order to keep engaging with them. Like be a little bit more self-centered. Yeah, it's trippy, man. It's like The world, and people think too, like the world is run by like evil reptilian billionaires. I'm like, or like these extra terrestrial alien species are like out here to get us and harvest our energies. I'm like, bro, what happens to fruit when you don't harvest it? It rots. Okay, so the dark forces are harvesting that energy, or it's just neglected fruit. Again, this is just my perspective. We need water for life, yet we are defecating into water. Oceans are 50% plastic, right? And here's the thing too, is like, I don't think that all activism is bad. I just feel like if people were more embodied in the things that they did, more would get done. Like there's a reason why people have been like fighting for ocean rights forever, but still don't go like in the ocean and go swimming. And the ocean is still hurting. Like we're in a time right now. I believe we're in a time right now where we are sort of getting closer and closer to this edge, right? And people are like, we're getting closer and closer to this edge. What's gonna happen when we jump over the edge? Most people are feeling that. I'm like, dude, we're already in the free fall. We are already in the free fall. Apocalypse has already happened. We're already rebuilding. You know, that's where I feel like it, where we're at. Ones who have info to actually protect and serve, yet technology, why and how. Many don't live like this is all. That's the part, yeah. I feel like we're more worried about this in the 80s, and now it's just turned into selfish spirituality. No one cares though, just to make money and turn a blind eye, and all set up and to encourage it like we're meant to. Yeah, so again, it's like there's a lot of what we would call like not self infecting our I gotta go, guys. I have a session. I love you. Catch you guys later. Catch me on the next live. If you're not already in the archive, join the archive. I'd love to have you. Also tune into me live, follow me and all that stuff. Love you guys. Gotta go. Bye. Pardon me, my friends.